Mel Gibson. You know the name. For decades, it meant huge blockbusters, Oscar wins, and one of the most catastrophic public meltdowns we've ever seen. But what if there's more to the story? The source material we're digging in today poses a really provocative question. Was Mel Gibson's downfall just about a deeply troubled man? Or was he a Hollywood outsider who tried to warn everyone about the darkness in the system only to be completely silenced for it? Let's get into it.
So the whole idea here, according to the source, is that years before his career blew up, Mel Gibson was already trying to tell people something was wrong, something was deeply unsettling about Hollywood. He could see the rot. But because he was this kind of lovable bad boy, this charming rogue, nobody really took him seriously.
Okay, check this out. This quote is from way back in 1998, when Gibson was basically on top of the world. He's talking to Playboy magazine, and he calls Hollywood Weird Town. He talks about all these unspoken rules and paranoid feelings that he claims turned out to be totally true. It's a little cryptic, sure, but it's a really telling early sign that he saw something he didn't like.
So you gotta ask, why could he see it when so many others couldn't or wouldn't? The argument here is that it's because Gibson was never really a product of Hollywood. He showed up from Australia as a fully formed star. He didn't have to climb that greasy pole from the bottom, so he saw the whole system from a completely different angle.
And yeah, this whole outsider thing, it's absolutely central to understanding how he got so powerful in the first place. He didn't play by the rules because, honestly, he never really had to learn them.
I mean, his origin story sounds like something out of a movie. He gets his breakout role in Mad Max because he literally shows up to the audition all beat up from a bar fight. Perfect for the part, right? By the time Lethal Weapon hits, he's already a global star. And then boom, 1996, he's holding Oscars for Braveheart. He just completely skipped the line.
And this right here, this gets to the heart of it. Most actors, they learn pretty quick that you have to play the game. You learn who to suck up to, when to keep your mouth shut. It's like everyone else learned the secret handshake, and he just walked right in the front door. He didn't owe his career to any studio boss, which gave him a really dangerous amount of freedom.
So what do you do with all that power and freedom? Well, if you're Mel Gibson, you use it to make a movie that seems specifically designed to burn every single bridge you have in Hollywood. Of course, I'm talking about The Passion of the Christ.
Seriously, look at this game plan. It's like a recipe for how to never work in this town again. You make a movie entirely in Aramaic and Latin, then you say, who needs subtitles? And when every single major studio tells you you're crazy and passes on the project, you just decide to pay for it yourself.
And we're not talking about a little bit of money. Gibson put $45 million of his own cash on the line. He remortgaged his properties, risking his entire fortune on this one project. If this movie had bombed, he would have been wiped out, personally and professionally.
Except, it didn't bomb. Not even close. It became a global phenomenon. It pulled in over $600 million, making it the highest-grossing R-rated movie of all time back then. He went around the entire system and beat them at their own game.
Now, according to Mel, Hollywood wasn't impressed. They were terrified. He says the reaction wasn't, wow, congrats. It was, whoa. Did you see what that guy just did? We can't let that happen again. He had basically proven that you didn't need the gatekeepers to have a massive hit.
But just 2 years after that massive win, it all came spectacularly crashing down. And the crazy part is, the system didn't even have to push him out. His own demons handed them all the ammunition they needed on a silver platter.
And man, the timeline is just brutal. There's no way around it. In 2006, you have the DUI arrest and that infamous anti-Semitic rant. Then in 2010, those horrifying audio tapes leak, full of racist tirades and violent threats. And then the domestic violence restraining order. It was a complete public self-destruction.
And the industry's reaction, it was immediate and it was total. The super agent Ari Emanuel wrote this open letter basically calling for Gibson to be blacklisted for good. Just like that, the door slammed shut. For almost 10 years, he was a total outcast.
Okay, but this is where things get really complicated, and where the source material throws a huge curveball. It asks, was Gibson's exile really about morality, or was it about power and maybe just convenience?
Let's just look at this, because the source really lays it out. You have Mel Gibson, who says awful, hateful things and gets exiled. Then you have Roman Polanski, who gets a standing ovation at the Oscars after fleeing the country on a sex charge involving a kid. Or Harvey Weinstein, whose abuse was an open secret for decades while he was the king of Hollywood.
Now, the point here isn't to excuse what Gibson did. Not at all. It's to question why the industry's outrage seems so selective.
So what's the takeaway here, according to the source? It's pretty cynical, actually. The argument is that Hollywood didn't kick Gibson out because what he did was so much worse than what others were doing. They kicked him out because his scandals were public, they were messy, and they were impossible to ignore. He became bad for business. It wasn't about morality, it was about PR.
Fast forward to today, and Gibson's kind of made a comeback. But his legacy is, well, it's a mess. He's become this weird symbol in the culture wars, and a lot of the time it's for stuff he didn't even say.
And this is where it gets really strange. You see these wild quotes online, these memes claiming he exposed Hollywood elites for drinking children's blood and doing satanic rituals. The problem? Every single one of them is fake. They all come from misinformation sites. But because he has this history as a defiant outsider, he's become this blank screen for people to project their own conspiracy theories onto.
And this all leads to what might be the most chilling idea in the whole thing. The source suggests the real darkness in Hollywood isn't some secret club of evil masterminds. It's something much more common, and maybe even scarier, the banality of evil. It's not one big monster. It's thousands of people making thousands of small, cowardly, self-preserving choices every day. Decisions that, altogether, create a system where abuse is allowed to thrive. It's about looking the other way to protect your own career.
Which leaves us with this one final question. If it's not some grand conspiracy, what is it? What is the one word that really defines the moral compass of Hollywood? When Mel Gibson was asked this exact question once, he had a very simple one-word answer.
Survival. That's it. Just one word, but man, it says everything, doesn't it? It suggests a world where every choice is just a cold calculation, where protecting yourself always comes first. It's the engine of that banality of evil. And in that one word, you might just have the most honest and the most terrifying description of Hollywood there is.